Hey, what's up? Dillio coming to you back again with another remake representing Dillio T2K.com. Make sure you visit this website and check out some of the products I got there. I got presets from Massive, 808 style bass generator, and chord samples. Make sure you check those out. Today's video is going to be about Migos t-shirt remake, and let's do the disclosures. Let's get the disclosures out of the way. Now, the first disclosure is no, this won't be a perfect, exact remake. So experts, y'all go say what y'all want to say anyway. It's fine. It's YouTube, but this is not going to be a perfect remake. So viewers and everything, make sure you look out for the experts. They're going to really tell you how things are supposed to be. Watch out for them, because for some reason, I don't know what it is that I do, but it just really brings them out. And second, just enjoy and have fun. And make sure you check the links in the description below and stuff like that. Definitely make sure you check out Dillio T2K.com. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the song. I was doing some research on the song. Let's sip of water real quick. I got to keep that water intake up. And you know, the funny thing is that I guess I was reading on some website that they said that Narda B took the beat from White T, and I can see why people would say that. First, I don't think they did. Second is there's a bass sound in there that's very similar to it. Like if I go to it right now, and this is a preset I designed to sound like the song. It's called Quick Bass. It's on Khemikals Season 2. Khemikals Season 2 is right here if you want to get that. It's right here if you want that. But for the most part, you know, it was that you know, that little sound. Right? So what we're going to do, we're going to start there with that. Actually, yeah, we're going to start with that and build from there. But it was a similar bass sound. It's a classic FL Studio sound. I don't know if they still have it on there, but I did make my own patch. So if you want that sound from my preset library, make sure you get that. So we're just going to do that first line, which is a B flat. So we're just going to... So that's basically the bass line right there. And the cool thing about FL Studio is that you can and this is going to add a kick drum in it. This is a standard boom, boom, boom. Now again, this is kind of like an approximation, so it's not going to be like the original. And we're going to put a clap in there. Tempo's about 70 BPM, as you can see. So we're just going to add those in there, right there. And it almost sounds like YT. It's that same cadence. But it's a different thing going on. So now we're going to add some snare samples. And I already got it pitched up, so let's pay attention to that, because I believe that the snare samples were pitched up a little bit. So normally the sampler would be at C5, so I just moved it up to the A flat there. And what that'll do is it'll change the pitch. It'll kick it up. So I'm just going to add that cadence in there, and then we're going to change the pitch. So do 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 do. So we just got to make sure we make it. And this is how you make a beat. So we got that, but now we're gonna do a little pitch change, and that's what I love about messing with the piano roll in FL Studio, so you can move sounds around, and we can just do that right there. This snare has a little bit more artifacts in it than I expected. Let's listen to that. Let's check out that snare. There's a little bit of a kind of a chip. What is that? A little chip sound? Let's go to Edison and see if we can get rid of that little. See right there, there's a little tune in there, a little beep, whatever. So I want that gone. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to highlight that, edit. Let's see if I can cut that. Now let's hear it. Much better. We're going to take that. We're just going to drag that right back in there like that. And make sure that we're not stretching the sample. We just want to make sure that the rhythm is all right. That's enough right there. And now we're going to skip over to the hi-hat. Open 808 hi-hat. I like that. We're just going to make that kind of do a pickup note, which will make it so once we hear the tss, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to keep moving forward with that. Let's see. So we're gonna go to the hi-hat. Actually, before we get to the hi-hat, let's go ahead and do that reverse piano sound. Now, this is a sound that I'm not going to say that's accurate. It is my best attempt to recreate that sound. I know it sounded reversed. I know it sounded like a piano, but there's probably another sound that the producers used. But this is just sort of kind of to talk about the creative process. So I believe the song is in E flat minor. So we're just gonna, and it's a standard R&B cadence. I mean, it's that 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3. So we're just gonna build the chords real quick. I would use my MIDI controller, but because I'm using a laptop without an audio interface, the latency is pretty bad, and I hate playing MIDI into computers with high latency. It's got to be at least 64 milliseconds or below for me to be happy. So we're just going to copy that, and actually I'm going to highlight this like that. Control B. Let's add it in while the beat's playing. Well, maybe not. And you kind of hear it modulate towards the end of the loop, so I'm going to make a re-trigger right there, and it's just Omnisphere that you're hearing right there. It's a little patch I kind of modified from original patch that they had on there. And you know what? To save us some work, let's highlight this. Let's get rid of that with the delete key. Highlight all this. Control B. It's in there. Okay, so now we got that. So now let's add the hi-hat. So we're going to go to the piano roll again. We're going to go to a 1/3 step. And this is the tricky part because we want to do something that I hear a lot of producers that are doing today in music is that they're making the hi-hats change pitch. And it just adds a little of its own flavor. So what we want to do, we just want to try and see if we can add our own little right there. And what we're going to do, we're going to and then we're going to do that again for this part right here. And then do that same thing. So now you're going to hear that hi-hat change. This is the best that I could hear from the original song. It may be different, but I think I'm pretty close. And I'm just going to make that come back to the 1 right there. So we got the hi-hat in there. Now we're going to do the 808 part. I'm going to volunteer the Art Sound Dillie bass because it's my VST plugin. And it's right here if you want to get that thing right there. So yeah, Dillie bass style VST plugin. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to tune it. So we want to make sure that it releases quick, and I'm going to do my best to recreate the bass line. It's not going to be perfect, but I think I'm going to be in the ballpark. Because it's like a low one, and then it's going to do another repeat of it towards the second half of the beat, but it's going to be on key. And I want to make sure that my stepping is on point. And we're going to make that slide too, so watch out for that. Right? And so we're just going to make that slide. So we're going to start off with that. And so to get some automation going, I'm going to make this get up to about 12. We'll make sure to reset that to 0. We're going to go to 12, right click, and let's create an automation click. This is where it gets interesting, because I want to make that first bass line go boom. And disclosure, I got comments on my videos like, all right, I can't hear the bass isn't doing. That's probably because you're listening on something that has absolutely no low end on it. Listen, don't even stop the video right now if you have no speakers that can go low end or can go and hit that low end. I'm telling you, this is a low end thing right here. If you don't have something that'll play it, please go somewhere and listen to that before you say, I can't. Moving forward. So let's go ahead and go to the playlist. And that's our clip right there. So what we want to do is we want to add that to this pattern, to this playlist. Actually, pattern 2, right there. And what we're also going to do is we're going to pay attention to that bass line and make that bass line do some fun things for us. So let's get over here. One thing you got to make sure you watch out for that's kind of tricky. I'm going to expand this track right here. We're just going to really widen this up because I want you to really see and pay attention to what's going on here. And notice that I got it at 50%. If you watch that knob right here, this node should be at 50%. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it go low right there at the end of it. Let's make sure we're at step mode right here. And I'm just going to add right click right there. I'm going to right click right here, and I'm going to right click right there. So that way I get that high point. I don't want that to be bending right there. So let's listen to that bass line. Well, let's make sure we're not on pattern mode. Unclick that to go on song mode. Now I see something. We're going to move that a little bit forward. Right there. Push that back. Right there. Make sure this is at 50%, because if you don't do that, the pitch bend will get ruined. We're going to move that right there. And I'm going to keep that at 50%. But it seems like it's a little bit faster, so let's see if we can add a little exponential there. Making sure to always keep this on 50%. I don't know how to snap that back to 50%. Maybe you guys, maybe an expert can tell me. That loves to come to my videos. So we wanted to go boom, boom, right? So now we have to automate that. So boom, boom. So let's move that there. Right there, boom. Bring that to 0%. That's at 50. Let's hear what happens. Well, not quite. There we go. Let's add another node, and we just keep adding nodes till we make it sound the way that we think it should. Same pattern right there. Let's add another one there, another one right there, and just make that bad boy slide where we want it to. There shouldn't be any more automation after that. 50%, 100. And you got to pay attention, because if the nodes aren't there perfectly. And matter of fact, I'm going to go back to the playlist, and I'm just going to make those kind of cut a little bit so that they don't get too sloppy. Let's push that back a note. Matter of fact, let's put those notes back. That's a good thing about the playlist or the Piano roll. You don't have to work too hard to change anything. And that's an approximation. That's as close as I feel like getting it tonight with that. Or you can move it up here. So you got options right there. So that's pretty much the beat right there. Amigos t-shirts with a little bit, you know, it's the best I could do to get that. I definitely going to do a Michael Jackson song for the next remake, coming up. Please feel free to leave your comments and thoughts and expert opinions in the comment section below. They're fun to read. And make sure you check out Dillio, T2K.com. Make sure you check out Dillio, T2K.com. I got presets for Massive right there. Season 2, which is the presets I'm doing right now. That bass line that you just heard is called a quick bass, and I'll show you that. It's right here. And that's KS2, Khemikals, Season 2 quick bass. And I'm playing that live right there. That's in Khemikals Season 2. Be sure to go to DillioT2K.com to check that out. And I'll let it ride for you. And thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll holler at you guys later. All right? Peace.
This video is sponsored by Khemikals, a preset library from Massive, including pads, leads, bass sounds, and more. Be sure to visit DillioT2K.com to hear it live and pick up your copy today.